My name is Mike Baumann. Okay, I've been going to the Plymouth Lions Church for years now. I had been an elder for 20 years here at the church, and a lot of people, a lot of brothers and sisters here, they know who I am. So. In fact, I was doing some roof work on my house, and I was turning off some of the shingles, and I had a ladder support. I had my ladder up against the house, and then the support came up onto the roof line, and I was I had my feet up on that, and I was about 22 feet up, about 1 or 2 feet from the peak, and then I had slid off the roof, and I went head first over the gutter's edge, 15 feet right on my head onto the concrete driveway. They knew right away. See, I broke 14 of my ribs. My brother-in-law was behind me, and she said, there was blood was spurting out every part of your head and your ears and your eyes. And what happens is because of all of the compression in your head going on, you make a growling sound, pretty horrific. But she knew something was real serious was going on. See. And then she did, and then before you know it, 911 came. Our first responders were there. He told me later on, Mike, this could not have happened any better, as weird as this sounds. But everybody who had to be there was there. Key people was there, because from the time you got the call until the time the helicopter came and got me, 20 minutes went by. So I mean, that's a pretty short amount of time when you think of what was all going on and what was all happening. So then I was taken for life, and like I said, I don't remember anything until coming to in my room, and I was talking to one of the guys at work. He was there with his wife, and we were talking, and that's when I was first realizing that something happened, but I didn't know. So as I'm getting more people visiting me and stuff, they're telling me this, and I can't comprehend. I couldn't comprehend it, because I'm thinking, how could something so traumatic happen? This is a very, very serious life and death situation, and yet I'm sitting here to this day, and I'm listening to this, and it ain't registering to me. It just ain't registering. So. So they were praying, and they noticed. My daughter and my wife said they noticed as they were praying, the voices when they could hear the voice. You all of a sudden your eyes were closed, but all of a sudden your head would turn. See, there was no response to that at all. Before, you're laying in a coma, you're not moving, right? And as they're praying around, your head is moving towards who's ever praying. See, and they were kind of shocked, because that's the first type of response they're seeing. See, and then when the last person prayed, and all of a sudden they said, your eyes opened, Dad, and you actually picked yourself off the bed. See, and that's when all of these heart machines, the monitors start going off, and the nurses come running in, and then everybody's got to leave. See, but they're saying, they start saying, "Oh, Mike, you fell down, you had a head injury," which of course I don't remember any of this. Tammy and Steve Locke, where I remember talking to them, and Joy was there when we were talking. And they would ask you how you doing, and I said, I'm doing fine, I'm doing good. And I'd always ask anybody who would come in, so what happened? See, I'd always ask them. They were always very, very supportive, very reassuring, would tell me what, and always saying that they were praying for me and stuff, and which is always very, very encouraging. Where I work about the situation, and he read this letter that my daughter had wrote about losing despair or hope. And when he read it, he goes, "Boy, you're really a stubborn guy." I said, "Well, what do you mean a stubborn guy?" Well, look at it. He goes, "You were able to come back and to live after something like that." He said, "Boy, you're really a strong guy, a strong will." I says, "No, I think you're missing the point. It ain't a matter of me and my will. How can my will be enacted if I'm unconscious? I said, what it comes down to is this: it's the hand of the Creator, and His grace. It sustained me and brought me back to where I am today. There's certain things like now, even to this day, there's certain things I know I can do it, but I'm told don't do it. Don't go up on the ladder anymore. I can go up on the ladder, but no, because if you'd ever fall again and you hit your head, it could be the end for you. And yet my struggle comes into where Scripture says I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Am I following through contradiction? If I don't go up on this ladder, because I can do all things through Christ. He's the one who strengthens me. He's the one who protects me. The part where I could not be a support to my wife and my kids because I was out of the picture. They went through a lot of struggling, and so did the brothers and sisters at church here. They went through a lot more than what I could ever imagine when I was out of it. My struggles came once I came to later on, and I told the nurse I have to go to the bathroom. So I walked in there and I sat down, and I was hurting every time you breathe. Your ribs are broke, and I'm sitting here in the bathroom, and I heard the quiet voice, and it's not the audible voice, but he speaks to your heart and your mind. And it was the Lord. He said, Mike, I know what you're going through. I know exactly what you're going through, the pain that you're feeling right now. But you got to remember, there's always someone else who knows your pain. It goes far beyond your pain, Mike. And that's my son, Christ. And when I heard that, it almost kind of made what I was going through at that time just lesson. That it's the one who loves you the most and whose grace is sufficient is always looking out for you, always taking care of, knows that hurt, knows whatever it is, the deepest hurt, he knows that. The only thing that I think of is this, that God has given me the privilege or honor to be used in this capacity, while other people were very instrumental in praying and pleading on my behalf for him to act on my behalf. And when prayer was answered, the only thing I would think is how many more people have their faith has now been bolstered and their hope is now increased. And he said, I would have lost heart unless I believed that I would see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. Wait on the Lord, be of good courage, and he shall strengthen your heart. Wait, I say, on the Lord. So that's that. I come away with that, but I kind of look at this, you guys, as this. He says, I would see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living, which would be the here and the now, and the physical living. But I look at this as, the land of the living takes me not only from here, but it takes me into his eternal kingdom. So there is the assurance, there is that continual hope that because of his goodness, he'll take you into the land of the living. No matter what comes on, no matter what the despair is, no matter what the pressure is, there is a hope, there's a certainty of hope.